Last Thursday, what they did was they came out, there was an agenda that had 47 or more individuals that were subject to be accessed, that were being fired, and they then voted on a consent calendar. The consent calendar apparently had all these personnel items hidden in it, and no one actually knew what was being voted on. They opened a meeting, had a consent calendar, went on, and then obviously they shut the lights off and the people in that room. But we've come to learn today that there were teachers that got notice that they were fired. And they were fired in that meeting when no one in the public knew what was going on, because what they did was they basically bundled it, put it into a consent calendar, and it should never have been presented that way. As a matter of fact, one of the newest board members who had never been part of a board meeting before didn't understand what was going on in terms of a consent calendar, because how would you know? You've never had that experience. And what they did was they snuck that through as well. This thievery is inappropriate.
No, when you speak on it. Ricky Cook is a part of Maribel's running mate, and he failed you guys.
Unfortunately, we have people in the community that are as ignorant as the people that were in that room. They don't know what they're talking about. And one of the things that's really clear is that when people get accused of doing what they did, they are found to speak out in a way that only know how to interrupt people and be disrespectful. And that level of disrespect is the very same thing that this community has been experiencing. The fact that individuals in that meeting had problems is a concern for this entire community. But one of the things we will not do, and people in this community that have come together, we're not going to be disrespectful to each other. And that's been so long going on in this district. People are fearful. People come to work, teachers come to their jobs afraid to speak out. Their voices have been silenced by people just as ignorant as that lady that just spoke. And every one of us need to not be afraid anymore and speak up, because the children are depending on the public to speak up. And the children are depending on people to come out and support these teachers. The children of Hempstead can no longer graduate at a 38% rate and then not even worry about what's happening with the other 62%. We've got to think about that. And that's what we are about. That's what this whole organization of people have come together about, to try and change the culture in Hempstead.
I want to add something.
Go ahead, Maribel.
I want to say to the Commissioner, to Dr. King, I think this is time for you to turn the TV channel, the channel 12, to look at Fios, to look at Tribuna, to read the newspaper. This is the time that you have to take a look what is going on in Hempstead. My son is about to graduate next weekend, this coming weekend, and so far I had no word from them. Then the superintendent is too busy with committing this kind of fraud, and the students they don't know who is graduating and who is not graduating. Right. And today is June 20. Dr. King, please look at the news. Look what we are suffering in Hempstead. This is time for you to take action, and the time is now.
Also, we would really like to add, first off, the 80+ individuals that are being laid off. Never in the history, a budget was passed which included increases. The budget is actually up to $185 million. They were not going to cut any of these positions prior to this election. It is critical that we understand that they make public why they took $1.5 million budget, $1.5 million out of the operating budget to put into legal fees. The counsel that they are receiving, that shabby answer of, oh, the door was open, but there was a security guard that had told us we could not go in there. That is illegal. That is the type of advice that they are getting from individuals that are getting rich off of this district. This district for 3 decades now has served as a patronage employment facility that puts any political office to shame because of what one particular individual and the others that have filled these positions, who are incompetent, who don't deserve to be in these positions, set up policies and they fail our kids. And as a result, you have 62% that are not making it and 38% that are ill qualified by the time they get into academia, only to find out they have to take remedial courses and are further enslaved, because they have not been prepared, robbed of their futures by this administration.
State your name, please.
Sergio Argueta, Sergio Argueta.
Argueta with strong.